Hello, everybody. This is Drew from Movie Mortis, and I'm here to bring you my review of Nosferatu. Nosferatu is the newest film from writer-director Robert Eggers. The film is a remake of the silent film Nosferatu, A Symphony of Horror, originally released in 1922. The film stars Nicholas Hoult, Lily Rose Depp, Bill Skarsgård, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Emma Corrin, and Willem Dafoe. The film follows Thomas Hutter, who travels to Transylvania to close a real estate deal with Count Orlok, who takes an infatuation with Thomas's wife Ellen. Now, the first thing I want to talk about with Nosferatu is the performances. The performances from the cast are stellar across the board, as they do an exceptional job of selling the viewer on both the relationships between the different characters, but also expressing a wide range of emotions from scene to scene and even line to line. The main standout of the cast, in my opinion, is Lily Rose Depp, who delivers such a mesmerizing performance as Ellen Hutter, who is a supportive wife to Thomas but is clearly working through some things that include being drawn to a demonic and otherworldly force. Nicholas Hoult as Thomas Hutter is an incredible counterbalance and stabilizer for Ellen. Willem Dafoe is great as the professor who understands that what is going on is the result of a supernatural entity rather than a run-of-the-mill European plague. Aaron Taylor Johnson and Emma Corrin are wonderful as well as the Hardings, a couple of friends of the Hutters, who have to aid Thomas and Ellen in their struggle against Count Orlok and have a crucial part to play in the story. Each actor truly disappears into their respective roles, and that is especially true in a literal sense for Bill Skarsgård, who plays Count Orlok. Skarsgård is completely unrecognizable in his makeup and prosthetics, as well as his voice and his tone. His voice is deep, menacing, and has an accent that is unique to Orlok and often sounds otherworldly, which only adds to his menacing and often omnipotent presence in this film. Another thing that adds to Orlok's presence is the way in which his character and the film as a whole is shot. For much of the film, Orlok is either shot in shadow or only parts of his body appear in frame or in focus. Lets the audience know that the Count is not human, and the audience is on their toes, and keeps the audience on their toes until the film absolutely has to show him in full. The film makes an incredible use of shadows as a whole, not just with Orlok. A lot of scenes in the movie have elements in the frame that are partly or fully shrouded in shadow. This is often because Eggers, in his push for historical authenticity, lights his scenes with visible on-screen light sources such as candles or lanterns. The dark lighting helps further illustrate the darkness of this movie's plot and atmosphere, and it helps immerse the audience into 1830s Germany. This is also aided by the set and costume design. The sets in this movie are mostly practical and are filled with all sorts of incredible detail. The architecture of the building exteriors have a unique Gothic look to them, and in a few shots have angled looks that harken back to the German expressionism of the 1922 original. On a similar note, the costumes are historically authentic that match very well with the authenticity of the film's locations. The final thing I want to touch on is the film's music. The music was composed by Robin Corralon, who makes fantastic use of orchestral arrangements as well as Gothic choirs that add a haunting beauty to this film as well as a dreamlike feel in certain scenes, and it is wonderfully effective. Overall, Nosferatu is an extremely effective retelling of a classic Gothic horror tale that has many hallmarks of Robert Eggers' films. I might even go so far as to say as it is the quintessential Robert Eggers film, who has firmly cemented himself as one of the best filmmakers of not only modern horror cinema, but of modern cinema as a whole. His unique Gothic sensibilities and his insistence on historical accuracy and authenticity are on full display in Nosferatu. It is a film that sucks you into its Gothic universe, and you do not want to leave despite the dark story and subject matter. A film you absolutely have to see in theaters and in IMAX if possible, or even better, in 35mm if you are lucky enough to have a theater showing in that format near you. Go see it. You will not be disappointed.